Hello, this is Ananda, and this is the second video of my series talking about the human and how we are not just physical beings. So yesterday and in the first video I talked about us having energetic bodies as well, and some people say who are clairvoyant and able to perceive and see these. So some say there are 7 energy bodies around us, but there are also others who say there are more than that, and it could even be more than 13. So that's okay. They can be any number of bodies, but the important thing to realize is that these are all connected and they interpenetrate each other. So one of the ways which may illustrate that is acupuncture, which works with our meridian system. And it's through the meridian system as well that we connect, excuse me, with all these other energetic bodies, and also with the universal energy, all the beautiful energy around us, which scientists are confirming now that there is this energy field. It seems to be infinite. We're surrounded by this. So for me that begs the question, well, why do we think there are limitations if there's all this energy that is around us? It's just really a matter of learning to connect to it. So it's something that we really need to start thinking about. If we're not just physical and we have all these other bodies, what does it mean? It also, for me personally, it means that I have to really take care of myself emotionally and mentally. And some people say that spiritually as well, the things that we can actively work with as well. So these bodies, if we're just talking about those 4 for the time being, they interpenetrate each other. So when I'm working with people, we don't just talk about the physical things. It's more about mental and emotional things, and we also go into spiritual. And yesterday I talked about how when we get hurt or we experience trauma, we tend to contract, and over time we restrict on a physical level. When you contract your muscles and you contract yourself tightly, you start to restrict your lymph system, your blood flow, and we know that that's really not good. It starts to ache, and if flow is not there, it can get diseased. And it's the same with the energy bodies. Yeah, so what can happen is when you get these blocks and knots in your physical body, because everything is interconnected, it will affect your emotional body, it can affect your emotions, it can affect your thoughts, and it can affect your spiritual bodies as well, your spiritual energy. So we can't really separate these things from each other. So I always tell my clients, yes, you may need to see your doctor, but go for complementary therapies as well, because they will work together and they'll get you back into as optimum health as you can. And if you need to, see a counselor too. Okay, so what I also wanted to talk about was that yes, when we experience trauma or something painful, and I always find for me, if I get upset, my chest gets it. I really feel, and this is me personally, you may experience this quite differently, and so we were talking about feeling hurt, and not about anything else. Then I feel like a tearing a painful, like tearing sensation in my chest, and sometimes it's quite stabbing, and so when that happens, I find that the energy kind of gets a bit stuck, and there's a knot, an energetic knot, which can occur. Now, if you just get a trauma once or twice, there's a tendency, your body has a tendency to balance it out and to work it out. If you're pretty healthy, you're physically quite healthy, you take care of yourself, you eat well, it really supports your body to work through this. But if it's the same trauma, and if it's really, really deep, then it can actually produce a restriction in your energy body. Yeah, in your, say, we're talking about emotions, it can be restricted there as well. And so I find that, and what I would do is I'll try to avoid that situation, and sometimes even avoid it and run away from it. So so this is kind of what we do when we experience pain. We kind of contract, and we might not want to face it. But this is, unfortunately, and there's nothing wrong with that, it's quite a natural thing to do, and we probably started to do that when we were very, very young and children, and it's behavior which is then passed, continues into, unfortunately, can continue into adulthood, and we have lots of issues which can stem from that. So it's here that we have to then start to work with. And as a healer, that's what I do when I give healing treatments. And we sometimes don't always have to go into the memory, which is lovely. But sometimes we do, because it's important for the person to realize that it's not happening anymore. It's in the past, and you're a big person now, and you can handle it. Okay? So a lot of work that we do as therapists and healers is to help people to unravel that which is blocked deep, which becomes limiting, becomes part of a negative mindset. So I hope that this was useful. Tomorrow we're going to talk about energies and the universal energy field, and how Reiki and people work hands-on, and even distance healing, how that works together. So thanks very much for watching, and bye for now. Have a lovely day. It's wonderful here.